The praise from Russian propagandists apparently hasn't helped dissuade Republicans, but now we're hearing that a return to Trump-era border policies are on the table, and that could push this deal through. Let's go right now to NewsNation's Joe Khalil live on Capitol Hill. And Joe, I heard that the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer just told the senators to stick around and work longer.
Yeah, and let's start there. We've been talking to senators all day today. The fact that Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says we're not going home for our Christmas break. We will be here Monday working it out. That is a sign that the leadership does have some confidence in the way these talks are going. The fact that the White House is now involved, I'm told, has moved the ball further along, but nothing is on paper yet. And until it is, we don't have a deal. And is it going to be a deal that's going to satisfy everyone? Likely not.
Failure to reach a deal is a Christmas present for Vladimir Putin.
Even as members of Congress recognize the stakes of failing to act on aid to Ukraine and Israel or on a deal to secure the border, the House is going home for Christmas.
I wish we'd stayed. I wish we'd got something done. Vladimir Putin will win if we don't.
Top Democrat on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Gregory Meeks, appealed to his Republican counterparts to support more Ukraine aid, calling it urgent. But Republicans are clear. No Ukraine or Israel money until the U.S. southern border is secure.
The warning lights are flashing every direction. The administration is saying now is the time to actually deal with border security issues. We've got to deal with this right now.
Republican Senator James Lankford, the GOP lead on foreign aid and border negotiations, didn't get into specifics, but tells NewsNation border agents have to be able to quickly turn away migrants who don't have legitimate asylum claims.
Good afternoon, everyone.
This week, the White House and the Department of Homeland Security jumped into the negotiations on Capitol Hill, something sources tell us has helped move the talks along. But progressive Democrats worry the Biden administration is too willing to make concessions to Republicans on reverting back to Trump-era border policies, like increased deportation, limited asylum, and remain in Mexico.
Do you have any concerns about how the White House is negotiating on the border right now for the supplemental?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a major issue, and it's important to make sure that we don't send the wrong message to our immigrant communities.
The Senate's decided to postpone its Christmas break and remain in Washington. Sources tell us that's a sign of confidence from Senate leadership, but the clock is ticking.
Elizabeth, one thing I heard a lot today from Democrats concerned is that the Congressional Hispanic Caucus is not in these discussions or at the table at all. I talked to one senator. He tells me that, yes, that's true. They're not at the table. And he says at this point, they're only left to guess what is actually being negotiated, what policy is going to become law. And the reason is because they're not being allowed in. So that is something that certainly is concerning to the caucus and generally to a lot of Democrats.
Right, but we have heard so much reporting, and you just interviewed Senator Lankford, who talked about immediately, quickly expelling migrants at the border, raising the standard for being able to apply for asylum, detaining migrant families who cross the border together. These are all Trump-era policies, some of which were controversial. But President Biden is clearly making a choice here, if in fact that's what he's negotiating about. He's picking aid to Ukraine over the border policies that Democrats traditionally embrace.
Yeah, he is. And look, I think he's probably seeing the poll numbers that he is not favoring well when it comes to handling the border. If you poll Americans, more of them say that former President Trump did a better job on the border. Is that weighing into this? Hard to be certain, but what we do know is that if you talk to Democrats here, including those on the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, I talked to Senator Ben Ray Lujan from New Mexico. He says there's a misnomer that we don't care about the border. He says we absolutely do. We want to see border solutions, and we want this crisis there, he called it a crisis, to end. But if you're going to go back to Trump-era policies, he says those were cruel and immoral, according to many Democrats. They don't want to see President Biden and the White House cave on that, but that may be what it takes to get Republicans on board with Ukraine funding. So at some point, someone's going to get hurt, something is going to give. It's just a matter of where that line is, and I think in the next couple of days, we're going to find out.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody can argue that what's going on down at the border right now is remotely anything close to a success or working. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.